Are you over 50 years of age like me and you're wondering how much protein you actually need to get in a day, not just to maintain health, but optimize muscle mass and longevity? We're not alone. This is a confusing topic, and today I'm going to show you exactly how much protein you need as you age. I'll also give you some practical tips on how to get enough protein in a day. And you don't have to be a big meat eater to get enough protein. So as you enter your 50s, 60s, and 70s, your protein needs actually increase. And this becomes more important because many people, they start to eat less protein. And as you eat less protein, this can lead to loss of muscle mass, weaker bones, and a higher risk of chronic diseases, especially things like diabetes. So here's why optimal protein is essential for healthy aging. So as you get older, your body goes through something called anabolic resistance, meaning it's less efficient at turning protein into muscle. You actually need more protein now than you used to when you were younger. This extra protein that you need as you get older helps to maintain muscle mass and strength. So higher protein intake helps to preserve your physical strength, performance, and mobility, and it significantly improves your quality of life and independence as you get older. But don't forget, you can't just eat protein and expect to maintain muscle mass. You've got to do strength training, mobility training, balance training, and this becomes more important as you get older. But even if you're watching this in your 20s and 30s and 40s, starting young is key. But you can still maintain and even build muscle as you get older. And research has shown that you can build muscle even in your 70s and 80s. And you don't have to go to a gym if you don't want to. There's plenty of things you can do at home. And you don't need, lifting heavy weights, although lifting heavy things does help to maintain muscle mass. It can be body weight exercises, gardening, walking. Even if you don't like exercising, just incorporating 2 to 3 minutes several times a day can make a big difference. Even jumping on the spot helps to promote that explosive power and strength. So it doesn't matter if you love exercise or not, it's super important to do, but you can just start small. So adequate protein, it helps to support your metabolism, and as I said, it helps prevent chronic diseases like diabetes. So if you don't eat enough protein, often you eat more carbohydrates. And it's much easier to overeat carbs than protein. Protein is much more filling. A good analogy, it's like you're throwing a log on the fire. The protein is like the log, and carbs are like the kindling. They're essential, but they burn up quickly, and then you need more, especially the simple carbs like sugars and junk food. So what is the optimal protein intake as we go older? Well, you may have heard that the RDA for protein is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So RDA stands for the recommended daily allowance. This is just enough to keep you alive. The RDA for vitamins, minerals, proteins, and other macronutrients is the minimum that you need, not the optimal amount. So especially as we get older, we need more than the minimum to maintain our muscle mass and strength. And so most longevity experts recommend somewhere between 1.2 grams per kilogram and 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Or if you're recovering from illness or you do a high level of exercise, you may want to get up into the 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight. So that means if you weigh 70 kilograms or 155, 160 pounds, you need at least 84 to 104 grams of protein a day. There's lots of online calculators, and we can put some links in the show notes so you can work out how much protein that you need based on your body weight and activities. So instead of eating just one large protein meal a day, and easier to have 3 to 4 protein meals. This makes it easier to absorb the protein, and while it is a myth that you can't have a huge amount, your body will absorb it over time, but for muscle health, the smaller amount is probably more effective. And most people, if they're eating once or twice a day, it is difficult to get over that 100 to 150 grams of protein to get the optimal amount that they need. So when we grew up, we were often eating things like cereal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, and they're easy meals to do, and a lot of people still do them. But as you get older, they're just simply lacking the protein. Even the so-called high protein cereals that you find in the supermarket shelves, when you look at the labels, they're usually full of sugar, and they may have some protein, but it's not nearly enough. So there's a whole range of different protein meals you can do. Things like eggs at breakfast time, protein shakes, yogurt, and you can have some things like oats for breakfast, but add some protein powder with it. And then for lunch, there's a whole range of different things. You can do salads and protein. You can do lentils and beans if you want a vegetarian sauce. Leftovers of the night before is the easiest option and is what I normally do. Some type of meat and vegetables. Keep it simple. It doesn't mean that you can't have carbs, but depends on what your goals. Often having lower carb in the day helps with, if you're trying to lose weight, that can be helpful. And having more protein can help to just make you feel fuller. And I always find like a low carb day and having carbs at night helps with mental focus and clarity during the day. And the carbs, they can help me sleep at nighttime. So while people often think of protein as eating lots of meat, there's lots of vegetarian sources of protein. But the best meats are things like your organ meats. Most people aren't, it's not their favorite. Lean meats, and also game like deer or venison. In Australia, where we'd have kangaroo, buffalo, things like that are very lean sources of protein. And they're often the healthiest types of animal proteins. So other good sources of protein, of course, eggs. I've mentioned lentils, beans. Watch out for those ones, if you have a lot of digestive issues, they can often cause gas, bloating, especially if someone's got, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Nuts and seeds are another great source of protein, but also giving you some good fiber and fats as well. And if you struggle to get enough protein in the day, there's always protein drinks. And there's, got to be careful there. There's some good ones and bad ones out there. Have a look at the ingredients, watch out for all the sugars and processed additives in there. And collagen powder is another good one. Whey protein or some of the pea proteins can be really good as well. And these are often very easily absorbable forms of protein. So there's also studies out there showing that low protein diets improve longevity. And while this might be true in some of the animal models, the goal is not just longevity, but improved health span. We want to live a longer, healthier life. And the protein helps with muscle mass, and it's still okay to do short-term low protein diets like the fast mimicking diet, which is like 4 to 5 days of very low protein. And this can help with autophagy or cell regeneration, but maintaining an adequate amount of protein is key for optimizing muscle mass. And I know I've spoken a lot about muscle mass and the importance, but research shows as we get older, this is one of the keys to maintaining not just muscle mass, but independence. People, when they get weaker, they can't climb stairs, they can't lift groceries, some can't get up from the stairs, more likely to fall over and break a hip or something like that. And as soon as that happens, the quality of life goes down. So the key is getting enough protein in the day. Don't worry too much about optimal protein timing after exercise. It's been shown that just getting enough protein over the day is what matters. So if you're not sure if you're getting enough protein, a good way is to use one of the fitness trackers out there like MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, the Carbon app. They're really good at helping you work out how much protein, fats, and carbs you're getting in a day. You want to make sure you're getting enough calories, and you want to make sure you're getting enough protein. And combine protein with exercise, and that is one of the keys living longer and healthier. Let me know what's worked for you. Leave a comment below if you found that eating more protein has made a difference. And if you haven't tried it yet, if you track your protein levels and you're getting lower amounts, try eating a higher protein diet for a month or two and see how you feel.